It's kind of a harassment.
It is really a harassment.
Yeah.
And when we get to court, whatever the charge is, it's always thrown out. So I want to thank you for trying to help us in this situation.
Our son was a witness for the defense in the Bell and Howell robbery attempt and murder, and ever since that time, he's been arrested continuously. He works.
He's been arrested and a witness?
No, he was a witness for the defense, and from that time on.
There's been a little charge, a little trumpet charge or something.
Each time the case has been thrown out, they come to our house. They even accused her son of stealing her automobiles. I've defended him. He was a witness for me. I represented the defendant in the case at the time.
I'm just hanging out. I'm just hanging out. I'm mainly known for the rough raps, but kids steal my lyrics like hubcaps and eat them like stacks of flapjacks like rugrats. Hey, and I get busy over unknown traps while the next man flaps his lids like parquet. I'm skilled in the field, so slide to the side. I'll make a rapper cry, cause I can get some shut-eye while he's having hard times writing rhymes. So he gnaws on my metaphors and dines on my lines, which is the reason why I like to hang out and hustle with my friends to get away from pens and copyists. So I'm corona bound to check you, aka Dr. Butcher, and what's going down. And Joe with the Jetta enables us to get around town. He's a clown. Other than that, I'm with Joe Burgos, watching old Black Caesar flick for kicks. Jump in the Wagoneer, we're out of here without an idea where, but usually we wind up there. I go over cake cuts, block cuts, rock cuts is what he blends. Check it. And I like to hang out and hustle with my friends. Yo, I'm just hanging out with my friends. I'm just hanging out. And I'll be up in Mount Vernon, beastin' with CL Smooth and Pete Rock, making beats stab sharper than cleats with my man Grippy Grips from the Cafe Black Rose. Checking out videos, and I speak with my man Rob Leak on the problems of the weak, dumb and meek. My man's deep, like the kid from the bridge named the rapper Naz. Me and G collect money and wars, and I run through discotheques like sound. Royal riches profound, yelling free James Brown. We rustle up to the discotheque and hustle up a storm in a swarm like we're gonna form. Nobody can get with the whereabouts, cause we're out shuffling feet without a shadow of a doubt. From Flushing to the streets of New York and back, freshly dipped off the rack, but not the Van Crack. In the park making plans for the night. Everything's right, taking it light, preparing for the festivities to begin. And every day seems like a day from the weekend. The cooling never ends.
Yo, the signs of the powerhouse tonight, Dick.
Word with that.
Always the powerhouse. But it ain't never your house.
And I like to hang out and hustle with my friends.
I know that.
Hey yo, man, what's up, Lenny Lunchbox? What's up, my man Grippy? What's up, Juju, man? What's the signs for the night, man?
Me and Ju, we want to go to the powerhouse. We want to go to his house. I want to go to the powerhouse. You know.
Hey yo, man, but what about the skins uptown, G? Oh, word.
Listen, cause my man, he just can't be uptown.
Yeah.
I'ma go call him up. You know, he got money, I got money, you got money. He got the girls, he got money, he got everything.
Hold on. Hey yo, that's Joe Burgos. He said that he up at the bottom powerhouse. Yo, what we gonna do, man?
Oh, yo, that's family with the big truck. Yo, check it out. We going to the powerhouse, we gonna see my man. Then when we go uptown, we gonna ride around, you know.
We gonna hustle all night.
We hustling, baby, probably hustling. That's how we hustling. I'm living like Thanksgiving, chilling, everything. You know.
Yo, what's the move for tomorrow?
The move for tomorrow?
Yo.
Leave it up well, then go for tomorrow.
Background music.
Yeah.
Noise.
Congressman Metcalfe, could you tell me
some of the instances, some examples of police brutality against blacks?
Hugh, it would be difficult for me to really give you a true assessment other than to say that there are very few black people living in the ghetto who have not at one time experienced some unpleasant experience. We've had our clergy abused by some of the police. We've had our professional people abused, and many are just run-of-the-mill people who have been abused. But I think the most devastating thing and the most damaging thing is the fact that they have lost complete disregard for the black people, and the fact that they call our women by all sorts of derogatory names that I cannot repeat, and have no regards for a person, even though when they stop them for these minor infractions and they show them their credentials, then they immediately, it doesn't mean anything. The fact that they're black, they still subject them to this abuse. And in most cases, they try to provoke them into an argument so that they can arrest them and put handcuffs on them. That was the case of the lady that over in Inglewood, where they stopped her for having a dirty window. And she told them, she says, well, I could see you following me for 2 blocks. The window couldn't have been very dirty. And so they asked for a driver's license, and she gave them a driver's license. She was on her way to take the children to school, and they took an unusually long period of time, and she went back to ask them how much longer would it be, and they told me to take their time, and from that particular point on, they started cursing her and abusing her, and the children started running out of the car. I mean, they got all excited, and she went after the car, and they grabbed a hold of her, placed her under arrest, and put handcuffs on them and had them on so tight, I mean, that they were hurting her arm, and she was protesting. And because she was protesting because of the how tight these handcuffs were on, they then kicked her and pushed her, kicked her into the squad car. There was another case of a lady who was stopped by a policeman, but said that she had made a turn without giving a signal. She says, well, I know my signal light was out, and that's the reason I gave the hand signal indicating that I was going to turn right. Now, she had gotten to where she was going. She had been out to McDonald's hamburger stand in order to get a hamburger for the kids for years. But the main thing is that it seemed to have intensified because of the fact that they are not being punished. And it seems that the police department has condoned it because they know good and well that when they get in and write up their reports, that they're going to be covered. They're going to be covered by the reports that they give, and the one who is registering the complaint then becomes the defendant. They have to take a lie detector test in order to prove that they are not doing it. And then these lie detector tests, are fixed too, so that the policeman comes out looking good. Now, we have a case of a doctor, and he had to prove that he was telling the truth of this police harassment. And so they sent him to a polygrapher and had him to be tested. But his lawyer also insisted that he go to another one and then to get the results. He failed that test from the one that the police department sent them to. He demanded that the same 2 officers go to 2 polygraphers so that they in turn will have the same report coming forth. And it is the cover-up, and it's the countenance and the saying it's all right for you to brutalize and abuse black people of their civil rights, and that's the very reason it's so widespread and so prevalent.
Has it increased in intensity in the last 2 or 3 years?
Yes, it has, but it has decreased a little since we have been focusing attention on it. But we're not going to be deluded into these temporary situations where the police are going to now do the job that they've always been doing. And so that's the very reason we're insisting that there shall be a safeguard. I mean, our whole government is built upon safeguard. We have the legislative department, we have the judicial department, and we have the administrative department, and one counterbalances the other. Well, we think the same thing ought to be true in regards to the police, that there should be some independent civilians participating in these decision-making bodies and hearing these complaints.
Congressman, a lot of people think that you could solve and settle this whole matter if you'll just sit down with Richard J. Daley, the mayor, but only in the ghetto.
Well, we think because of the fact that his recent actions indicate that he had to instruct the superintendent of police, James Conlisk, to go and have these community relations meetings is indicative of the fact that he does not know the extent of it. And we want to bring him case after case. We can take the Urban League. The Urban League is sending 75, 78 cases a month of police brutality. Some of the newspapers have received these and have asked for action and have not gotten action. So he needs to come where we have the highest crime rate. We're now walking in a district that when we started the Third Ward Committee on Crime Prevention, that it was the second highest. Now it's up to number 1. I mean, so this is where he needs to come because the people are fearful of going out at night or even in the daytime, that there is daytime muggings and robberies and all of that. And we want our neighborhood safe. And in order to have it safe, we've got to have good police action.
Got out of film, I'll bet, huh? Boy, got good stuff.
It's kind of a harassment,
It is really a harassment.
Yeah.
And when we get to court, whatever the charge is, it's always thrown out. So I want to thank you for trying to help us in this situation.
Our son was a witness for the defense in the Bell and Howell robbery attempt and murder, and ever since that time, he's been arrested continuously. He works.
He's been arrested and a witness?
No, he was a witness for the defense, and from that time on.
It's been a little charge, a little trumpet charge or something.
Each time the case has been thrown out, they come to our house. They even accused her son of stealing her automobiles. I've defended him. He was a witness for me. I represented the defendant in the case. That's how I know about it. And